Hey there, Debo here. I'm testing out a new microphone and going live with my friend, the king of all cosmos, and this kid here, Prince. Just mostly just testing out this microphone just to see how it works, but also taking a look here at yeah, there it is. Also taking a look here at this build, which I finally got to a point where I think I can say it's completed. I might do some touch ups back here, but it's to the point where I am totally ready and actually just did submit it to Lego Ideas. So we'll see what they say. Also, if you like it, please support it. LegoIdeas.com. It's just titled Katamari Damacy. And that's what the kanji here on the side are. It's Katamari here, Damacy there. And you can kind of see how the play on words reflects the similarity of the characters here as well. You know, if you want to go a little bit further in depth into the Katamari universe. But Katamari Damacy means clump soul. So, well, roughly translated to clump soul. So you got to think about that as how a Katamari works. So most people think it's just a sticky ball that goes around, but in truth, it's many, many times more complex, yet incredibly simple. Because the Katamari is it's held together with love. It's held together by attraction, gravity, and the more things you get together and share the love with, the bigger that love is, and the stronger the draw is. So it brings in larger objects. All right, it's a soul that grows. Hey, what's going on, Alexander? Yes, I want to roll up the world too. Monica sent me a thing earlier that she saw with like somebody dressed as the prince holding up a sign that says "Coming soon," and with nothing else to it. So who knows what's coming soon? I'd like to find out what's coming soon. Hopefully another game. Hopefully even like We Love Katamari uh, remastered edition. And sorry if this microphone is like super sensitive and picking up all kinds of things, and I'm very much a noob with a single microphone source. But I do want to show here that yeah, the king is not attached. So you can pick him up and pose him and run him around and do all kinds of things with him. He'll even hold the Katamari in his hand. But with as little spaces I have to work with here, I don't trust everything to not like end up getting knocked over like a bull in a china shop, like I can be. But here's some of the articulation on the leg. pretty good bend on the knee, not a full 90 degrees, but it works enough, to kick a leg out or something like that. Pretty full angle or ankle, sorry, articulation there as well. Yeah. If the king didn't go on crazy tirades and like knock out all the stars in the sky, nobody'd have to put him back there. That is undeniable. Oh, I do want to show off real quick though. The king does indeed have on some bling. He's got a necklace that I wish they had a chain that was pro gold, longer than 5 studs. But yeah, he's got that on there. He has a bracelet because the king doesn't indeed have a bracelet and many rings, but like the rings you were using in the Neon set, they don't quite fit over the candlesticks that I'm using, which is a little bit sad. But yeah, there's the king. He's got his Elizabethan collar going on there too. Dark red and dark blue for the colors in his outfit. The build of the prince is pretty simple, and I done something a little bit more up close on Instagram with it. So I mean, it's pretty easily to duplicate. If you would like to duplicate it, please do. The story of the pompadour hair. Yeah, that was good stuff. You could probably customize it to do a young king with the pompadour and stuff like that. There we go. Get him back on there. There. And then the Katamari we have is also a pretty simple build. It's 2 of the new Super Snot bricks, back to back, kind of turned a little bit. And yeah, you can, because the studs are on that extra side, you can lock these together with just the 2x2 round. So with that, you get a pretty good, there go the flowers. Pretty good approximation of a Katamari. I mean, about as best as you can. I took a look at the dimensions of a Katamari and how a Katamari is constructed and the numbers and whatnot. And it's really difficult to work out with Lego. I mean, it's not like a simple like octagon or hexagon. It's more like a soccer ball, so it's tougher to get. I've seen people will be able to replicate that kind of ball in Technic, but I don't think there's a good way to make it as like a Katamari yet. There's probably a way. There will be a way at some point, but that's the closest I could come, at least. But yeah, I'm assuming. Hey, Koi, what's going on? Just showing off the set here and the microphone, which might be in the way. I'll see if I can scoop things around here a bit. But thank you, Tiffany, for the microphone. She saw 2 videos ago, one that I put out, and she's like, "Yeah, the video was all right, but I couldn't even hear you." So, Merry Christmas. But this thing is, yeah, super sensitive. So it'll pick up the chair. It'll pick up anything I tap on. If I rub the shirt too much, it's going to pick that up too. So yeah, bear with that. But yeah, I got some foliage going on down in here. I got the flamingos. I've got the pandas, mushrooms, little flowers that you can actually roll up and stick to the ball here. And I guess if you wanted to, you could go all the way. You could roll up the flowers and then roll up the mushrooms, roll up the larger flowers, roll up the palm leaves, and then eventually the flamingos and the penguins. I don't have penguins in here. The pandas. Roll those up, and then you got a Katamari. I haven't been that ambitious yet, but who knows? Who knows? Like if people like this and it gets somewhere, I might do that. It can hear hummingbirds fart in Florida. Yeah, it can. It picks up the ticking of my clock as well. So if I have a pause or a lapse, you hear like almost like Jeopardy coming in the background. And unfortunately, I kind of ended up missing the tricky lug meet today. I tried. I was on the road. I was driving back home from visiting my mom up north. It's out in the middle of the sticks, man. So I tried to join the Zoom meeting there. I pull off over by somebody's farm. I got his dogs barking at me, and I'm like, oh man, I'll be on my way soon. Mutts, just hold your phone. So I was holding my phone and I was trying to dial in. So like I see that I'm in the room, but I can't hear anybody. And then I was like, well, let me get to where I figure out where the highway is, because I was trying to take a shortcut. I didn't want to go through Grand Rapids proper. That's where I would make that exchange, somewhere not too far from Miss LeBrickton them. But like this rural road turns into a raging like 8-lane cesspool like once you get closer to town. So I was trying to not get into that. So I was like, yeah, I'll go left here. I'll hit 131. I'll be good. Well, I ended up seeing some very strange things in the backwoods of Michigan. And I don't care to recount them here. I'll just let that be said. Anyway, so I tried to get in there. But I kind of didn't. It bummed me out because I guess I missed the drawing for the Singapore set which I mean was pretty cool. I mean, it's a Lego architecture set. It's one of the Skyline ones. It looks pretty freaking badass. No, it does really. So I can't take it back. But I wanted it. I still want it. So I mean, eventually I'm going to get it. The price point is right on. And it's just about the same as the other Lego architecture sets that have come out as far as like the City Skyline ones have gone. So that's going to be no problem. Whether or not I'm actually ever going to pick up the Taj Mahal, that's another issue entirely. But I don't know if the build is there yet, even though this is maybe half the size of the ones that have come out previously. I don't know if it's all about the onion domes. And then, I mean, Lego's done onion domes and done them correctly, but I don't know if they've ever really nailed it on the Taj for me. Oh, all my architecture sets are in the living room, except for my homemade city, which is right here. Yeah. So I have no choice but to embrace the architecture sets because I see them every day. Of course, I see most of my Lego every day, except for some of the basement stuff. That's more like every other day. Only at Barnes and Noble around there. Yeah, I get them Lego.com. A lot of them actually Tiffany. That's the one thing I don't usually buy for myself. I if there's a birthday or a holiday or something coming up, I usually stay away from those. So she has something in Lego that she can get me as a gift that I won't accidentally buy on my own or purposely buy on my own. But yeah, Barnes and Noble is a great spot to pick up Lego. And if you have a Barnes and Noble membership, you'll get a decent price on it. Not to mention they have decent sales on occasion too. Hey Tim, what's going on, yo? Yeah, thank you. I just submitted it. Okay. I've kind of sandbagged and not even mentioned why I'm excited and why I'm doing this besides the microphone. But this thing, I submitted it to Lego Ideas tonight. So we'll see. Sometimes it takes one day. Sometimes it takes like 5 days for them to either approve or deny a project submission. So this is in. We'll see what happens. I think it's keen, keen enough to submit. And I'm sorry that the background is so busy that you can't really see. That must look like some weird green screen action going on there. But yeah, you can't really see them 200% awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's something that I've kind of pieced together a little bit here and there, and I tried to figure out, after I had the base done and a place for the king to stand and like an appropriately sized prince to get in there, I'm all like, what? And it needs something else. And it needs to say Katamari Damacy, like, and now it literally says Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy. But that was not too tough to sort out because of course I got the game. So and the opening load screen once you played, it takes you to load 1, 2, or 3, and it's got kanji up there, and it's it was kind of tough to rough out. They were kind of big. They're larger than 16 by 16, so I ended up not being able to do them on a plate. So then I tried to figure out a different way to do it, and finally I got enough like 2 wide plates that I could just kind of rough in them exposed, and kind of cut away. And I think that was like the finishing touch. Like boom, once I had that, then I guess it spoke to me. Yeah. But yeah, keep your fingers crossed. Support it if you get a shot. If you get the Lego Ideas, and if you haven't gotten the Lego Ideas, check it out. There's some wild stuff on there. Pretty much anything that hasn't been made into Lego yet is on there as an idea somewhere by somebody. There's not too much that hasn't been submitted. There's Cowboy Bebop. People have put in Bebop stuff. So if that's your thing, go check it out. But yeah, this is Lego Dots bracelets. So yeah, not your conventional build style. And actually, since y'all are here for this, I have submitted builds before, Tim. I submitted the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea Nautilus, I've submitted, and I didn't make this one, like a public known thing that I submitted, but I submitted my build of the Phoenix just to see, what people would think of it. I submitted way back in the day some architecture stuff, but that never really gained any traction. I mean, like those support numbers were low. They were like 18, 11, 23. I think I did a chair that had like 73 supporters or something like that, and that was like my best one at that point. Hey, Monica, what's going on? The king. But here's a here's a sneak peek at what's going on behind the king. Now, this is a lot of work and skeletal stuff you're seeing here. But to keep this straight and rigid and thin, I used a lot of long plates. I'd like to get more purple to cover the outside back of it, but the large purple plates I got that you can see from the front, I ended up picking up in the Trolls World Tour Vibe City concert set. And I haven't come across another one of those since. So I might end up having to bricklink it. But the really interesting thing here is the back of the head. And I'll bring them closer so you can see. Hey, Zach Martinez, what's going on, yo? Oh, yes, your bulk lot. Monica, you between you and Alexander, you are the ruling classes when it comes to bulk buys. But yeah, so you can see the structural action going on there. So yeah, it's just the dot bracelets with dots. The back of the head isn't even finished because I need to make that curve just right. So I could probably do that with lavender slopes, but I just ended up using a lot of them in Thanos, and I can break Thanos down or I can change up Thanos, but I think it should be lavender because that's the color of his. What would you call that? A headdress? A hat? Not really a crown. He's already got a crown. And I mean, all the cousins have that thing too. So maybe it's just they're hydrocephalic or something. I don't know. But it's awesome. And then yeah, I've got a couple flamingo down in here. I've got some panda bears. Yeah. Submitting to Lego Ideas as of like an hour ago. I finally got the photos together, some decent looking photos. For me, decent looking photos, which was saying a lot because my photos are horrible. But I took some time and excuse me, tried to set up just the right setup for it. So we'll see how well that takes off. And I think that was the big problem with my Disney's Nautilus build. I mean, the build was okay. The water wasn't maybe as good as it was in the original initial float idea, but that being said, the photos of it were horrendous. I mean, because the thing is like low and long, and trying to get a decent photo of that, because Ideas wants like one main photo that shows at least 90% of the build. so getting a decent one that showed everything, it just didn't really look right. And I didn't have the tools or the time or the setup to be able to, make it look really, really good. So I think it suffered because of that. It's still out there if you want to support it. If you haven't, I think it's finally gotten 304 supporters as of like yesterday. So it's still a thing. But this one hopefully is going to go live soon, and when it does, we'll see what happens with it, right? But I think this is the best looking thing that I've submitted there yet. I mean, I'm doing a little toot of my own horn and whatnot, but this one just like I look at it and I feel satisfied with it. All right, later, Tim. Hey, what's going on, Aubrey? Just double checking the chat here, and trying to remember to speak into the microphone because if you're just tuning in, I've got a microphone. That's because I've gotten a complaint from a singular individual saying that one of my last couple of videos was pretty low and they couldn't hear anything. So this, and that was my Christmas present. But yeah, I think it looks all right. And it's got the lavender action going on there. So represent lavender there, lavender also in the dots bracelets, dark pink also in the dots bracelets and on the ends there, and in the flamingos and in the Katamari. So those are like my, I guess you could say, signature colors. If I have signature colors, it's dark pink and medium lavender, because it just looks so good. But yeah, I initially just started the stream to test the microphone, be able to put him on screen somewhere because he was feeling excited. I was feeling excited. Even though, I mean, it hasn't been accepted yet or anything like that. It hasn't gone live, but like the submission is done finally. So it's been many months in the making. And it all came down to finally getting a hold of some 1x2 plates in light gray. And I told Alexander he knows about my woe with struggling to find those, because the way I constructed these is like a whole lot of 2x2 gray plates, and to make it more structurally sound, I had to offset a couple of them, pretty much all of them. And with what I didn't have that was 2x2, there were a lot of 1x2 gaps, and I had to get that taken care of, and did. And so finally I was able to submit it after I figured out how to incorporate these. Originally they were on a mosaic just to get them laid out. Originally that wasn't even a mosaic, but then once I had these laid out, I was like, yeah, I'm going to play around with it. So I posted that to Instagram. So the progress of this thing has been somewhat public. There was the video of me finally getting the king together. I did a Prince brickhead, which doesn't really have anything to do with this one. Yeah, I posted Instagram stuff about the base and then the characters individually. So yes. Hopefully we'll be able to vote soon. Yeah, I will keep everybody up to date. So what happened? I want to know who won the Singapore at the tricky lug meeting today. Because unfortunately, I tried to dial in from the road, but I ended up in the sticks. I couldn't get that great of a signal, and things got hairy as soon as I tried to log into that call. But yeah, let me know in the chat what happened there, because I'm curious. And like I got to see images of the people in the in the meeting, but I got no sound, and I didn't even attempt to unmute myself or do a video from where I was at, because I had like one piece of one bar and there was no way to get in there. So by the time I had gotten to a place where I could check and see if I picked a better signal, I think my phone had clocked me out. So I missed it. And I feel bad, especially bad when I miss the Tricky Lug meetings, because that's one of my favorite things about being in Tricky Lug is like our once a month meetings where we all get together and show off what we got and who got us what, and what the thing we're working on is. That's what I love about it. 4 or 5 giveaways. Oh wow. Dang. See, that's like if you don't know about Tricky Lug and you love Lego and you want to be part of a tight-knit community of extremely awesome people, get down with Tricky Lug. Yeah, Zach, this is definitely a work of much love and much reprogramming of where I put the dots on the king. It started out pretty rough, but here and there I picked up certain colors. Getting a lot of the purple translucent was tough. Took a couple different Bricklink orders and getting them in this set and that set, but finally I got enough of them to make everything work. Quarter circle tiles are never an issue for me because I have so many dots that, I mean, quarter circle tiles are just, I have almost, I would say, a complete collection. I'm not even going to look into how many different color varieties there are, because I'm pretty sure I got most of them. Trying to sort those things is just, it's heck. Oh, you won the Singapore set. Congratulations, Aubrey. It's going to be a sweet build. Oh, And those magenta, are they magenta or dark pink hubcaps? Oh, those are so choice, so choice. That is an absolutely fantastic set. They came out with the those three towers. The I think it's called like Marina Towers, as its own building a few years back, and it was a great set. But it was kind of tough to get your hands on if you weren't paying attention, and I missed it. So that was one of my regrets. But now that they're coming out with this, it makes up for everything. It's a very pretty set. Plus those 2x3 tiles with they could be windows or very small squares, whatever you want to call them. They look fantastic, and I gotta go. But yes, congratulations. Yeah. All right, so you're probably wondering what I ended up picking up, because I didn't end up breaking down anything to get those 1x2s. I certainly didn't, because I'm not breaking down the Ryan Gosling car from Drive. I'm not gonna do that. That's my own geeky thing. Trust me. It's one of the sets I ended up getting, which didn't have any 1x2s, but it had some other cool stuff. Was the Avengers in-game set that had the sweet van with the quantum leapy thing in the back. Also, it came with, he reaches, big head Thanos that you can pose his head. Closer here so you can see him. Yeah, and of course Thanos is medium lavender, so super awesome there. And yeah, this, I made him a skateboard. This is actually a snowboard from an old like X Games or something like that set that they had in the aughts, in the thousands. And I think it was one that you could attach kind of like a stick to the bottom so you can make the person do tricks. Yeah, that was a long time ago, and I ended up picking that in somebody's brickling store for like a dime. I was like, pearl silver, it's got printing on it, but eventually I'll figure out something to do with it. So I did. Yeah, big fig, the biggest of the figs. Almost looks like a fig with that chin, honestly. But I mean, look at the suit he's in. I mean, that looks more like a wetsuit than anything to me. So I mean, he's ready to go surfing. I don't understand what's up with Thanos' costumes in the movies. I don't understand what's up with him being like really watered down power wise. There are things I don't understand, but I don't dwell on those things too long, because then I just start rolling my eyes. Another thing I don't understand is Video Bandmate Series 2. Is it going to be a situation where we are left high and dry like they did with Hidden Side, with that, was it the third or fourth wave, the final wave that came out? The initial release, I mean, everything was there, but it never resupplied, it never restocked. And I'm hoping, because they ended up kind of canceling Hidden Side, not necessarily abruptly, but the rollout was kind of stomped on a little bit. I'm hoping they don't do the same thing with Video Bandmate Series 2 for us in the US, because it actually turns out it's a little bit tough to get your hands on the figures overseas as well. But they do have them, and there are US sellers that pop up on Bricklink now selling them for $15 each. So of course I'm left with a crisis of conscience. Do I try and fill out the set now while I get them at $15 each, or do I wait and they never come back and I just miss the boat entirely? Or, it's just, who knows how that's going to go. How many big figs do I have in my city? Well, let's see. I've got 3 versions of Thanos, right? Just three, yes. 3 versions of Thanos. I have a Hulk in Doctor Strange's place. I've got, what's his name? Cull Obsidian. Is that the guy? No. Yeah, I think that's his name. One of Thanos' lackeys from the in-game Infinity War stuff. And that might be it. No, I got Sandy too. Sandy is my other big fig. But I think that's about it. Mostly just because Yeah, you really got to go after the sets that have the big fig. If you try and get them online separately, they're going to be probably 20 bucks or so each. And I don't really go after them separately. If I want them, I need to get the set. I found that out with the Hulk early on. Uh, is that Spot? Hey, Spot, what's going on? Uh, Taking a look at the King here, and also talking smack about Video Bandmates Series 2, which I hope it's just like a slow roll, and it is indeed a supply issue because I emailed it when they canceled my order. I emailed Lego about it. I was like, "Are we ever going to see these again, or do I have to bricklink them from Europe?" And they're like, "Well, you could bricklink them from Europe, but that might be cost prohibitive. We can assure you that these will be back in supply. We're not taking them out of rotation anytime soon. We're just at the mercy of supply chain issues." Kind of your standard response to anything these days from folks, which is understandable, but I just want some kind of reassurance. And at the end of the email, they say, you can also click on the notify me when this is back in stock button, which is on the web page, but not for the Video Bandmate Series 2. For other things like Titanic, yeah, sure, it's there, but not for that. Thanos is everywhere and sees everything. Yes, especially when he's got the gauntlet, and it's not like the MCU Thanos who doesn't really understand what he's working with there. Sorry, I just have to diss on that guy on occasion. But yeah, enough bad talking Thanos. I mean, he's gotten the butt of the jokes lately. But the other set I ended up picking up, and of course I pretty much broke it right down, was the new, I say new, the Creator 3-in-1 shuttle set, which would have been awesome to build as a shuttle, but I was too antsy to get to those plates, so I didn't end up doing that. But the figure that it came with is pretty boss. So we have female astronaut with this torso has been used a few times now, especially in the 3-in-1s. It was the torso for the droid in the or droid or cyborg, or I can't remember what they call it, for the 3-in-1 set that we did for the Rebrick This. Was it the Cyberdrone? Yeah, the Cyberdrone. So yeah, it was used in that, but with a bot head. It was also used in the 3-in-1 Explorer set. That came with it, like the little green alien. It was about $40, but it was like a rover, and it looked pretty boss, like a self-contained moon roving mobile home or something like that. It was okay. It was all right. It was pretty roomy in there. But also comes with this convenient little space helmet and air tank set, which does have like Technic pin connectors, and these connect as well on the bottom here. So there's a lot of things you could do with this backpack, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanos poop. Thanos in the litter box. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can really talk about right now, just because I don't get to stream too much, and it was mostly about this. But I'm here now and I'm streaming, and if there's something else I can, oh yeah, hold on. Listen as the microphone picks up the every bit of the roll of this chair as I go to fetch what I'm after. That's authenticity right there. So I got my hands on one of my white whales. Yes. This is the Ferrari F40. It is a Creator. I don't know if it was expert back then, but it might as well be. It was $100 when it was new, and I ended up picking this up used for like 89 something. Of course, it was dusty as all get out, and it was already pre-built, and they said it was 100% complete. But as you can see here, it is missing a piece on the tail, which only four places on Bricklink were selling that because it is a sticker piece. So it's on its way from Germany right now. But other than that, I mean, this set is just awesome, and designed by the is one of the first designs by the person who has been working on most of the Lego larger scale vehicles lately, Mike Psyche. This is one of the first sets he worked there when he was still didn't have a beard and he was baby faced and whatnot. Um, but yeah, you can see up under here. And this is one of my all-time favorite cars. So the fact that I ended up not getting this kind of irked me a little bit, but it's one of those things, of course, with Lego sets that are a little bit out of your price range. You start to rationalize why you don't want it, right? Well, the wheels don't steer, or the tail looks a little bit blocky, things like that. And then, of course, after it retires, you start having all this remorse, and this was a great source of remorse for me. Go right to the source if you got remorse. But yeah, so the seats inside are pretty awesomely built. So yeah, I ended up breaking this down, cleaning it, and rebuilding it. Just because I wanted the experience of building it. And then there were a few stickers on here that I had to pick up and replace on here. And I think it was, actually, I can't remember who. I think it was maybe Little Scrap who had a suggestion of how to pick up and move a Lego sticker that's already been placed. It's usually you just take a sticker sheet, like the blank side of it that doesn't have the sticker, and you slide it up underneath there. It's amazing. It gets right up under there. You can move it. Doesn't remove any of the glue or anything like that. And it seats pretty well. So, but the interior details are pretty awesome here. One thing I didn't fix the sticker on was the steering wheel, and now that it's all built, I kind of regret that a little bit. Checking out the tail here with lights, and inside a fully built engine. Yeah. So me finally getting my hands on this was, I mean, this was something I had written off as to I'll never see this set in the flesh. And that's yeah, that thing just swings right open. But you can see the Technic underpinnings there, the base structure of it. Yeah, the piece that fell was like it comes with an unattached bar that will hold up the trunk section there, so you can see the engine. It's a mid-engine car, so it's a little backwards for what you might be used to with your average home sedan. Cornado, what's up? They didn't even try to hide that blue. that blue is actually, I think it's purple, and I put that there because the piece was missing, and I was sure I had a red piece like that, and I do. It's somewhere in a build, but I'm not going to dig it out, so I just put purple there because I got to order the stickered piece anyway. And it's a glaring reminder of the pitfalls of buying a used set, while at the same time I got it for, I mean, with this other piece that's coming from overseas, just about what retail was, even though there's no box, there's no instructions. I had to use, of course, the PDF, but that's totally fine. It went together like a charm. Had to clean it, of course. Cleaned it, and it's extra shiny now. Thankfully, it wasn't in a situation where it got used and a lot of pieces got scratched up. It didn't really get that. It just just shelf grime and dust that accumulates over time. But yeah, what else is there that I can talk about Lego set wise that I have handy or recent builds? I did the Asgard thing, the new Asgard. That one's okay. I mean, it's it's a room where dudes are hanging out, playing games, drinking, and eating pizza. So it's essentially a college dorm Lego set. Is what it is. But it's nice. It is nice. I'd hang with those dudes. I'd pick up a controller. I'd call next. Sorry, that was a little bit loud. All right, let me see what I can reach here. All right, so I did end up getting the Speed Champions 2-pack with the Ford GT and the Ford Bronco. And then I didn't like the Bronco. I I mean, it is an okay build. It's a solid build. It's got a lot of bits to it. Um, but I mean, Broncos kind of have a connotation. I mean, once you reach a certain age and you know your history, you have a Bronco indelibly burned into your mind that, of course, is a white Bronco. But that's all I'm going to say on that. So we have this one here that I turned into kind of a beach buggy because I wanted a vehicle for my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a while. This seemed like as good of a thing as any. I modified it deeply. Uh, I could have probably chose something better there for that in the back. But yeah, everybody's got a seat. Everybody's hanging out. Michelangelo looks happy. Everybody else has got kind of a sour face. So if you can see it there. And I could have put more surfboards on the side, but I just put the two just because I don't want to steal everybody else's surfboard. I mean, I already feel bad about like putting two people on the sand and they can't surf anymore. It's a heartbreaker. It truly is. Let's go Buffalo. Cowabunga, dude. But I don't know. The only thing really kind of halfway interesting that I did on here, besides the color swap, is the rear view mirrors or side view mirrors. I thought that was kind of halfway all right. I'm sure it's a technique that's been done before a million times because there are so many cars out here built. So many cars out here in these streets. And this is just another one of them. What, you need surfboards? I don't need surfboards, but like every surfboard that I have, no, wait a minute. I got some ones that aren't decorated that I could put on there, but they're not decorated. But yeah, every decorated surfboard is spoken for. I have a collection of surfers. Also have a collection of skateboarders. At one point, I was trying to keep up with every skateboard and every skateboarder that Lego had released. That got problematic, so I started dialing it back. Same thing for the surfers. So, I mean, you kind of get to a point where you just kind of have to pick and choose. And so I think the last one I ended up picking up was Monkey Kid from, he had some like kind of jet powered surfboard. And that was in the set that I got. Sandy. Oh, it was like a Sandy speedboat. That's what it was. Basic green, blue, of all kinds, and even with prints. Yeah, I know I have lime and I think medium azure surfboards up the wazoo in my minifigure accessories case down here. So I got a microphone. Next thing I need to figure out is a down cam, and once I figure out a down cam, I can show you all how I sort. And once you see how I sort, then the mystery is over, and then nobody's going to watch this anymore, like they even do it in the first place. But I mean, that's something to look forward to in the future. Because I've been sorting Lego for 15, 16, 17 years. And of course, with back in the day, you didn't have that many elements, so it was easier to sort. You had maybe one or two bins, and then those one or two bins turned into three or four, five or six, seven or eight. Now I got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 12 pick-a-brick cups, plus 12 drawers, like large drawers. And I'm always trying to make everything built. So like the fact that I have this much stuff stored up right now is just, it's killing me. I gotta make something with all the stuff. I got him done. He's out of the way. So I can put him in a nice out of the way place, um, and get some building space back. Because between this, the menagerie, and the Thanos, well, I say Thanos, but the big Galactus conference call thing that I was working on, that was taking up a lot of space. So now these things are done. I can kind of clear them out of the way and work on something else. I've been grabbing my buildings down lately and starting to do a little tweaking. I fixed up the pizza parlor last night, which was pretty awesome because I forgot when I did the flooring in the pizza parlor that I wanted to have something down there as plates, because one of the things I had to do was get an extra plate thickness in there. I used 16 by 16s on my 32 by 32s. That makes it a little bit more stable, a little bit more strong, especially when you were putting it on a structure like my city is resting on. So in the process of lifting all that and then replacing the plates that I was using inside the diner, I realized that I used all the jankety white plates that I had, all the ones that were like stained that you couldn't wash out. So it looks like there is a seriously dirty ass floor going on in the pizza parlor, and it looks appropriate. Like it looks like it should be that dingy. Like it's been there for 40 years with like 5 different owners, and none of them really cleaned the place properly. So of course the grime is just like aged in. And there's grease from untold generations ago, all right there in the grout and whatnot. So that's what it kind of looks like in there, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then I thought I was going to take a picture of it so I could show people, but then I was like, you know what? Nobody needs to see this. This is too much. This is a bridge too far. People will be disgusted by that. So I spared you, and you're welcome. Sorry, I started rambling. I forget that I should check up on the cat more. Cat more? Chat more. I should check up on the cat too, but she's out of the room right now. Surfboards, Cyber Dragon came with the carpet one, yeah. We used to have to sort uphill. Yeah, no kidding. 58 tower drawers. Yeah. Hopefully I don't need that much space to sort it. But your setup is magnificent. Like you have a Lego library. Yeah. By the time you're done counting drawers, you got to add more. It's true. I've started using little friends boxes. I've started using like the Disney storybook clamshell things. I've been using X Pods for years. I've only got 2 of those, sadly. Friends dots or friends, not friends dots container boxes. You know, the ones where you get the sets in that are segmented, and they're supposed to stack on top of each other, and they do, but really loosely, so they like spin like mad, and they're going to cause an accident. They have caused accidents, so I don't recommend stacking those too high. Just a PSA there. Oh, thanks, Big Block. Welcome to the thing. Faded painted concrete floors. Yeah, that's about how bad it is, yo. It's horrible in there. There's like if you've been, and I'm sure you have been in like kind of a like, I wouldn't even say strip mall, but just kind of like a business that's been in a building that has changed hands over the years many a times. I mean, maybe it's a shoe repair now. It could have been a dry cleaners 5 years ago. It could have been a daycare like last week. In like umpteen thousand restaurants in this lifetime, and just all that damage that goes in the cracked tiles and stuff that are crappily repaired, and it just looks used. That's why I really like the place. Divided pill containers, cylinders for large ones for unique dots. Yeah, I use Debo Bricks exclusively uses Plano. So this is not necessarily from a dots, but we got tiles in here. We got curved tiles. We have jumpers, 2x2 and 1x2. We got cheese wedges, 1x2 and 1x1. Round plates, round tiles. Well, not round plates, but round tiles, radar dishes, transparent tiles, and such. I've also got grills in there. But if you want to see a dots container, and this is worked down a little bit to the point where I could replace some of the dots that I had with some of the dark pink flowers I've collected here. But yeah, you can kind of see what the variety is, and that's not even all of my quarter circles. I've got some quarter circles. Another thing, I've got quarter circles that are tied up in mosaics that I'll be breaking down before too long. And a lot of these came from a Michael's sale, and I am desperately trying to use as many of these as I can. Ended up getting the Lots of Dots, which is the 1,000-piece dot collection that had quite a few. Some folks call them tombstone ones, like the half dome one by ones here. Got a lot of those in a lot of colors. This is a pretty good buy, that set, if you have the chance and if you have the inclination to make something, with dots, with a lot of one by ones. But they come in handy for larger builds too. They're great for covering studs and making things look really smooth. Adding light and shadow to little bits and highlights. And, I highly recommend it. Try incorporating them into things, and there's always a place for a quarter round somewhere. There it is. And yeah, this is a little bit later at night than what I usually stream, of course, because I'm usually going to bed right about now. Yeah, the quarter minutes. Stanley 25 shallow compartment case. I know those are good. Those are the ones that you can remove the individual compartments, I think, right? I considered getting those. Those are really, really nice. And pretty versatile too. They have a pretty wide product line for those. Stanley's good peeps. But Plano and Flambeau are what I have. Flambeau, those are the two I started out with, like large tackle boxes. That's where I kind of got the idea for sorting initially, is like tackle boxes, like the big clear ones, people got all kinds of lures and sinkers and bobbers and whatnot. And yeah, so, and they work pretty well because they're divided compartments that you can change the size of by shifting the little dividers in them. So as times change, as your collection changes, you can scoot things around and have it adapt and adjust, until you have to buy another container. It works okay. Yeah, I call those grills, the 1x2 tiles with the grooves in them. So you have those that run the entire length of the thing. You also have the ones that are kind of on the little bit of a slope that have the crosshatch to them. I also call those grills slope grills. Sloped grills, ED. Whatever works as far as terminology goes, that's what I call it. If it looks like a thing, that's what I say. Yeah, you can remove the compartments. Yeah, those are the ones I was thinking of, these yellow compartments, which makes it really easy to see things in there too, which is nice. And I think they might be a little bit rounded at the bottom too, which is another thing you want to look for when you have your containers, like for your Lego, because if you have a rounded edge, you can scoop out better. If it has a flat corner down there at the bottom, sometimes trying to fish out like a robot claw piece is nigh impossible and frustrating to no end. Really is. Call them lattice. Yeah. Oh, speaking of lattice, I got some is it Belleville? I think I have some Belleville lattice work coming in from that place in Germany. So yay, more dark pink, right? We're gonna see what it's gonna go to the menagerie. It's going to the collector's menagerie. All right. So what else is going on here? Well, I got you may or may not have seen that I've done some Space Police videos because it's not entirely popular. But I've been making videos for the Space Police sets that I've gotten lately because they're not necessarily a white whale, but that theme was one that I missed out on a lot of sets for that were just beautiful. That again, I talked myself out of at the time, and now looking back on it, they just kind of loomed in my mind. They looked at fantastic, but trying to fit those all in my space area has convinced me that I need a bigger space area, or I need to figure out some way to work it better because I have 3 of them swooping over the top of the Millennium Falcon right now. Let me see if I can scoot things along so I can give you kind of a look here at what's happening. Listen to the high definition sounds of rolling. So this is very appropriate for a Katamari stream. Okay. So yeah, you can kind of see now where we are. Shuttering of the camera, adding drama, right? Angling down. Okay, so yeah. Now I'm not just talking about it. Now you can kind of see it. And I've got to look at the TV to see where the camera's pointing now because this thing is pointing way away from me. But let's see, can we get a little bit more angled down? There we go. But yeah, I got some Ninjago dragons down up in that piece. I got yeah, not the greatest definition right now, unfortunately. There. We've got some Star Wars vehicles. We have the Titan, Zane's Titan mech. Liz's the little mech I made for Liz is down there. There's a couple other mocks in there as well. Mostly it's a lot of like spaceships because I love spaceships and I don't really have a good place to put them. So I kind of dedicated this area to them. And of course, I got the Milano and I've got the Benatar, the original Benatar, not the new one. Even though it is sweet, it doesn't have the detachable pod so that Thor, Groot, and Rocket can go off and do their thing. I've got the pod in there from Lego Movie 2. And yeah, just a couple more odd things in there. The gantry next to the mech is from the Overwatch Waypoint Gibraltar. I think that's what it was set. And I think it makes it look kind of cool. Or at least maybe not from the angle that you're seeing it, but from the angle that I'm looking at it, it makes it look all right. Maybe I need to fix that. I don't know. There's also a UFO down there that you can't really see, tucked in the corner. Yeah. The underneath the tables. I got an extra tabletop actually when I went to IKEA to use as a base underneath there, so I could have essentially double the space to put my stuff. Did I have a dark age in Lego? Not really a dark age so much as I don't have money or space or a place of my own to be able to put all these wonderful Lego things I want age. Um, because I grew up and I was putting together town sets. I was putting together the odd space set and things like that. And I was always into toys. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Jason the Wheeled Warriors mask. Oh, all kinds of stuff from the 80s. And Lego was a part of that. And Lego just kind of continued a little bit longer than everything else. I bought a couple different types of action figures up into the mid thousands. And then once I got into Bricklink and got my own pirate ship and stuff, then I kind of started doing things exclusively in Lego. And at first the justification was, well, if I can't build it in Lego, I'll get an action figure that'll do it justice. And then I kind of went away from that, and then we just recently got to the point where like, if it doesn't exist in Lego, I'll try and make it in Lego. So I mean, that's kind of an evolution right there. But I didn't really have a Dark Ages. Because I always wanted a pirate ship, or I always had this thing, in my mind that I always thought would look great in Lego. And since we're doing the down cam thing, and we might be able to see it all right. And now that I have an independent microphone, I don't have to keep my face pointed at that down-facing camera. I can show off my underwater area. And yes, there are lights. The rolling of the chair yet again. I don't know how well that's going to pick up for you. But I do have an aquarium light pointed down there that highlights the coral and the neon bits. And you can see what it did to the Debo brick sign over there on the left. But yeah, so I can come in here, at night and turn on that aquarium light. It actually cycles through 4 different things. You can do black light, blue light, white light, a combination of all of those, and that's what I have going on right now. 93 to 13. I started my first AFOL purchase was probably 1996 or 97. And then it was a few years after that. Let me turn on the lights again, because this is kind of spooky, mysterious in here right now. Yeah, I'm gonna break something. I'm telling you. And then that was when they came out with the diver sets because I had always loved the pirate stuff, and I always wanted a shark. And the diver stuff came with sharks, and you could get like $10 sets, and didn't have to get like um, the Black Seas Barracuda and stuff like that. So that was nice. That was a great change. So I ended up picking up a couple of those, like the cheaper ones, so I could get myself a couple sharks. And then I had the sharks, and then they started coming out with Star Wars and Harry Potter stuff. So I ended up buying a bit of that in the day. Oh, that thing is bright. So yeah, that is kind of the evolution. So I'd say by 2000, 2001, I was kind of getting back into the A full fold. Well, getting back into becoming an A full, rather than being, just this dude who walks down toy aisles all the time and gets the occasional cool thing. Um, but I did get the occasional cool thing. I can't get this light to work right. I mean, I look like the Watcher right now is what I do. This is Uatu coming from you live from the moon. Hey, Doc Samson, what's going on, dude? Yeah, I got a microphone so people can actually hear me now, right? Yeah. But yeah, we're showing off the freshly submitted to Lego Ideas Katamari thing I was working on. That's really the initial reason why I was doing this. And now I'm just rambling and showing all kinds of stuff because I'm trying out this darn new microphone that I've got, trying to figure out how to do it best. I mean, I can figure out how to do it worst. I'm an ace at that. I've been doing things the worst for my entire life. I mean, nobody can beat me in that respect. Considered attaching any of the spaceships to fishing line or wire. Well, going back there. Let's see. Yeah, I might have considered it once or twice. I have an entire jet liner hanging from the ceiling. But then it's like, if I want to put all of them up, I have to do like some kind of a web of network of string, and then like what kind of what poundage, what kind of weight is the test line going to be? 30 pound, 10 pound, 5 pound, like there's all these factors that you start to get bogged down and weighted down in. So I do try to figure out like some kind of cat's cradle setup to get everything flying at once. And then you got to start hanging hooks for that stuff. And it's a whole mishigas. I just said, forget it, skip it. I want to make like a big, huge thing where all the spaceships are docked and, everybody's hanging out and having a good time, listening to video bands and drinking exotic cosmopolitans from faraway places, stuff like that. What do those letters spell? Oh, on here, the characters, it's Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy. And I was saying earlier on here too, the reason why it's called that is these characters are pretty much the same. Like these two back here are the exact same, and then the ones in front are the only thing that changed. So it looks nice when you see it. Plus, I mean, it means clump soul, roughly. Damacy is kind of a version of Tamashi. So yeah, but Katamari is like to ball up or something like that. But yeah, space hangout place, yeah, would be awesome. So eventually I want to get to that, but that's what I kind of ended up with in my aquarium area that we saw a little bit ago. It's just a place to have all my submarines and underwater sea life and all my sharks and whatnot hanging out. And then I got my ship over here. Pan to the ship. Yeah. And that was the Hull of a Junior set that I ended up getting at 75% clearance from a Toys R Us that was going out of business around about 2004 away. And then that's how I got into Bricklink. I'm like, all right, this is like obviously for little kids. What do I do to spruce this thing up? I was like, oh yeah, how do I get extra parts? What? There's this whole network of people selling used Lego bits, new Lego bits online individually. This is crazy. So I got down with that, and that's before I knew anything about a pick and break wall. Trust me there. Yeah, thanks, Pot. Yeah, figured out the physics of Galactus for real, yo. And actually, the key to Galactus, to making Galactus stand, is his weight. Like, he's a heavy sob. And the reason he's so stable is because his weight. Like, he doesn't have a lot of looseness in the joints. Everything's being pressed down and compressed a little bit tight. So he's balanced, kind of like an actual human is. He's bipedal for sure. Not like the King here. The King, the support system underneath. He lost his head. That's okay. Only the face came off. This has happened a lot of times. But I'm showing you the legs, so forget that. But yeah, so it's a tile height here between the feet and the cape, that kind of sit in between a couple of pieces back here that keep him from really scooting around. Yeah, he's don't worry, folks. The King is completely fine. He's only held on, so you can see there, by that little rotator bit for the head, but it's perfectly balanced right in the middle. And the only thing that would send it off course is if I maybe tipped him upside down or something like that. But yeah, of course he'd lose his head in the after party of celebrating the submission to the Lego ideas. Hasn't been accepted yet, but I'm just geeked because I finally got the stuff together and put it in. So I'm gonna set him over here headless. I'll clean that up later. Yeah. Oh, that thing is good to be the King. Yeah, drop test love. It would be great if I had like a pad underneath it. But yeah, it's survived drop test. It's survived the crash test. I have not put him in the oven. I'm gonna let it, like, if it goes far enough, I'm gonna let somebody else put him. That just too much for that. If he fails the Dairy Queen flip test, yeah, he's been double dipped in cherry. I'll tell you that. But shoot, what time is it? When did I start this? I started this at what, 9:30? It's like 10:30 now. Is this true? Maybe. So yeah, I've been going for a minute. Yeah, I guess I could check the time on the monitor directly in front of me. This is how long I've been streaming. King says they're falling off. Yeah, they you know what? I wish there was a better way to secure them. I mean, technically there is. I could do what I did with Galactus's head. Galactus's head, from the shoulders, I kind of locked in a long axle with a stopper at the end. So he has like this spine going up the center of his head that when you put it on, like, that thing is not going to fall off. So I could probably do the same with the King, but that's a whole lot of engineering. I just don't really have the mental energy to do at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see if we get, like, I don't know if it picks up steam when it gets on ideas. We'll see what we'll do. Yeah. So, God, is there anything else going on in the Lego world that I inhabit right now that I can clue you in on? I'll be starting the police station before too long. I've got 3 sets in the closet right now. We're sitting on the Imperial Light Cruiser from Star Wars. We're sitting on the Harley Davidson, and Dio. Dio is in the closet. I have a thing for those that scale of build from the Star Wars sets, like the kind of UCS, not really UCS, bigger built figure scale things. Like I got Yoda, I got I was gonna say Groot, Grogu. Yeah, Groot shows up in the Star Wars universe, and everybody's head explodes at once. Yeah, no. And I kind of want to get the R2, but I have a problem with the R2, like the $200 actual UCS R2. That lightsaber that comes out of his head is way out of scale, yo. Like, no, that's no good for me. So, it's probably going to be another one of those situations where I end up talking myself out of a set, and then of course later come to regret it and then have to hunt it down. So I'm going to see if I can make the call before it goes extinct on that. We'll see what's happening. But yeah, so I'm gonna put the king back together again. He done did a little Humpty Dumpty and fell on the floor, and Nora's howling to get let in. And with the situation that things are in right now with the king, is a little bit tenuous. I don't want to hear jumping up, causing all kinds of ruckus and mayhem. You can hear it in her voice. Oh, she's ready to unleash unruly hell in this room. So I'll spare y'all from that. And I'll let you go. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. Thanks for checking out the King and the Katamari Damacy. Go vote and check it out on Lego Ideas if and when it goes through. And just be assured that the final build, if it does actually get made into a Lego Ideas set, is going to be one from the Lego designers and not me. So you can be assured that the head is not going to fall off if they do that. But yes, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to probably do some odd random kamikaze broadcasts until I get a setup schedule going again. But as you can see, I got the microphone, so I've said I'm like gonna do it. So now I got to do it. This is not a cheap microphone. It's got to get used, right? So yeah, thanks everybody. But yeah, check back later. Hit your notification thing if you want to be notified when I start doing this random craziness, because I could start streaming at any time. It's like I'm incontinent or something.